So, last year, I'm driving up to Greenville with a girl to watch a baseball game. And we drive up there, and of course, watch a movie. My phone dies. So, we get the game, whatever. The game's probably 3 hours. It's one of those special baseball. It's one of those special entertainment made, not sport, not competitive. But whatever. Get there, walk around. You know me. I'm in the car. I'm like, huh. You know me, thinking, seeing the situation. I'm like, oh man, I'm thinking what 4 hours, 3 hours game, hour, 40 minutes, whatever back. I'm like, oh man, no fun at all. Of course, I'm with the girl. Great, good friends. Dated her for, together probably for a year at the time, or whatever, right? And then get the game, walking around, get the confessions with the lines really long, having a blast. That's great talking, great chats. Just such a fun time. I didn't think about phone. I didn't think about it. It was so fun. Sit down. 3 hours flies by. 3 hours. Talk about everything. Talk about life and things scared of, school, and what we think about each other. Certain things. Arguing. That's a perfect time of connecting. And isn't it? No, I'm not saying this is a brand new person. I'm not saying this is someone I don't know, but I don't know, 3 years, dated for a year. Beautiful person. I mean, very beautiful. But the thing is, though, it's just the word just connect. It's almost like Philippines. I say something and it connects perfectly with this. Connects perfectly. And relationship in general. Get the person. First get with the person. Fantastic. I think relationships. So the cycle go up. No, it gets first it gets better, and then it slowly gets worse. Seeing someone every day, it gets worse. You get disillusioned, thinking things are better on the side, whatever. These things happen. And so yeah, perfect connection. That's what I think love is. Being with this person, you still love them, but things aren't well anymore. You still love them, but you're like, oh yeah, it doesn't work out. It is much different than it was beforehand. But when you first meet the person, there. When we first started dating, it was perfect, lovely, perfect. Then things got worse and worse, and then a mixed bag. Like all relationships are. Even people who love each other unequivocally, it still gets bad. But that one night, though, for that one day in particular, always comes back to me. It's like, oh man, that was the best I'm gonna get. I'm not gonna get any much better than that. I don't have this person anymore, but it's not gonna better than that. It almost makes everything else in life, you kind of like, oh, it's not as good. It's never gonna be good. You put all your love into one night, and then it kind of ends. And so yeah, but I think that is a true depiction of love. And then, which leads into the part of the story, the part of the video. The Before Trilogy is the realist depiction of love. It's not hyperbole to say it's the realist depiction of love on film. In the 3 movies, it goes to you meet the person, you're around the same age, and what makes Before Sunrise so perfect is these people know, look, we have one day together, so we're gonna be true as possible. It's not any well, I'm gonna lie and embellish my character so I can seem like a better person, so this person loves me more, so this person likes me more. But no, it's one night. Use yourself, and the other person, he's himself, and then you connect perfectly. And that's no realistic case. There's no faking. There's no trying to get the upper hand. There's no hiding. There's no being around. It's perfect just like that. So before the movie starts, and it's these two German couples are arguing, which is a flashback, which kind of foreshadowing what happens in the 3rd movie. But I digress. So they're arguing, and Jesse, American guy, moves a couple seats back, and sits beside Celine, a French girl. Look, a very beautiful woman. He's a handsome guy. So they sit, and then he asks her a question. They start talking, hit it off. They move to the back part of the train, start talking. They'll have a great time talking. And he's like, oh, I'm getting off for a day, whatever. If you don't go with me, just taking a shot. And she gets off with him, And they spend this entire night going through Paris, talking to each other. They're just saying overall how they feel. They're just saying how they feel about life, what they're scared of, because they're 21. Saying what they're scared of, saying all these things. There are two people who are having a lovely time. It's not even the great thing about this movie is it doesn't romanticize it as much. Of course you have the nighttime scene and the kissing scene, but it doesn't really romanticize it at all. I mean, it's just people that's genuinely just connecting. Now, of course, Celine's very attractive. Of course, she's very attractive, but I mean, still, I think even if she wasn't as attractive, she would still get it off very well. Still have the same connection, same two people at the same time, two people are the same. It's so great. In the entire night, they're talking, and she tells him about what she thinks about her parents. He talks about his parents. She tells him about love. She tells him, and this is like in that time and moment. That is her character in that time and moment. But the night ends. They sleep together. But they wake up and it's time to go. And they meet. He meets her on they go to the train together. And he says, "Let's meet here in what is it? It's in like 8 months. I forget. I think it's like 8 months, whatever. Meet her 8 months, whatever. And then you meet him again in Before Sunset, which 9 years. So as you can tell, it's 9 years later. So, but I don't. The movie kind of plays it. So it never. The first scene is him writing the book, which he wrote the book to get. He wrote the book about the night. So they ask him questions about the book, and they're asking them, did they ever meet again or whatever. And the movie kind of plays it where, what Linklater is so good. This is kind of a tangent, but Linklater is so good. Each scene has a question, and he's saying, okay, almost a mystery of what the question is. He's gonna answer at the end, but it keeps you compelled. So that's why the big question of the first scene is, did they meet after the couple months they said they would meet? And then he's talking. He looks. He's in France, in Paris, and he's in a library, a bookstore, and then he looks and he sees, and it's Celine. It's Celine. And it's not this, the movie doesn't play it as this big, oh, Celine, he runs tour. It doesn't play it. It plays it so subtle, so restrained. But he sees her, you can tell he sees her, and you're like, in his mind it gets fuzzled. No, that's like good, right? In his mind, he's just kind of splattering out words, so I'm just saying, oh yeah, it's kind of rambling off. So he sees her, and they walk, and he says, hey, but the big thing of this movie is, each movie has a caveat. The first movie was, they had one night together. The second movie is, he has to be on a plane in a couple hours. He has to leave, take a car, get to a plane in a couple hours. So they have a couple hours together. Again, basically a shorter time together this time. They're walking, they're talking, they're expressing themselves at the time. And then the big question comes, why didn't they meet? She asks, were you there? He says, no. She says, good, I wasn't there. They keep walking, and then it comes out, he was there, she didn't come. Her grandmother died, so she couldn't be there. And there's no hate about it, but you can tell, and he's like, you can tell certain scenes where it's like certain, because the two actors, Julie Delpy and Ethan Hawke, play it so well, because certain scenes, it's all in their face. It's not saying, oh, I wish you were there. No, some scenes say that bluntly, but most of the time, those in their face, if you watch their faces, it tells so much of their face. And that's real acting. That is facial acting, where you can tell their faces. So they keep walking. It's like a 20-minute scene, 10-minute scene of them just walking and talking. She's become an activist. He's become a writer. He's still just neurotic. And you talk about the book and whatever. Right again, and there's one scene where he asks her if she remembers sleeping with him, and she says no, she doesn't remember sleeping with him. And he's like, oh, what? He said it, he's saying it, she's saying they didn't do it. They keep walking, and he asks the big question: what would you do if we had one day together, and we knew the world was knew we were gonna die? And he just says he would sleep with her for 24 hours straight, and she, I'm not entirely sure what she says. Oh, I think that's what she says, and then he jokes and says, "Let's do it now, then." Funny, they start talking again. More walking, more talking, more of them just saying, how's time indifferent for them. But it's never really any. Watching the movie, I'm always in love with the movie. I'm in love with the second movie more than the first or third. Even though first time watching, I was like, oh, the second movie is kind of not as good. So I watch it again. I'm like, oh, this is my favorite. And then you get the scene. The movie really kicks it off as soon. I think it's like a what's it called, like a ferry where you're on like a boat, whatever. That's when the movie really kicks it. The movie really kicks it off. The movie really kicks it off because beforehand she had talked about how his life was. He was selling books. He had a wife. He had a kid. And then she says how her life's going decent, but underline, like life isn't going that well. Life isn't perfect. And so he just comes out right out and say, "This is probably one of my favorite things ever. My favorite quotes ever." She says, "She never understands how people replace each other. She never understands how people replace each other because everyone's made up of so unique qualities." Paraphrasing, but it's around that. He says that, and he talks about his wife. His certain things about his wife and how he really doesn't love his wife, but he's more married or more for the Rick. I guess Rick wouldn't be the word. He married him more for that's for the. No, let's just say I have a wife. That's because I have a kid. I have a wife. And then one of the scenes, he just comes out and says, "Oh, why weren't you there?" And she's like, "Oh, I told you I wasn't there." But he's saying, how much different his life would have been. How much different if you was there. How different life would be. So, and then you keep going, and they get to his apartment. This is where the movie really kicks it off. First of all, they're driving. It's a big drive scene where Julie Delpy gives a fantastic. I mean, the acting in that scene, it was this car scene, is him driving. That's all it is. And Linklater there sees one. I'm not sure if he ever zooms in, but he takes a camera. This is the back seat, and he takes a camera and puts it right here between the passenger seat and the driver's seat, and it's right here facing at them. I don't think the camera moves at all. I'm not entirely sure if it moves at all. And it's really like the monologuing, saying how all romance was spent in that one night, and how like romance has never been the same, and everyone she dated breaks up with her and gets married, and now she's become pitiful at romance, really. And this is her monologue, and she gets mad at him because she sees him and she sees something, how special she was in the past. And he starts saying he is a really good scene. Where he tries to like touch her in the first one, but he doesn't. Really good scene. And then he's talking to her, calming her down, saying, that he's married to someone that he doesn't truly even love. That he feels bad for because he doesn't really love her. And they both says, and this is a beautiful thing. It's not. Her. Oh my God, I'm up too close to the camera. But it's not her saying, "Oh, how horrible my life is." Saying he's saying, he's keeping control by saying he's not keeping control by saying, "Oh well," saying I'm sorry for you, but keeping control by not. He's vulnerable and says, "My life is bad too. My life isn't perfect. I might seem like the great writer, like the kid, like getting money, like the wife, but no, I'm not perfect. He comes out vulnerable to her, and tells her, my life is bad too." And they both. They laugh about it, and that's beautiful because you're not lying. It's really hard relationships to really be. It's really hard to really be vulnerable with somebody. It's really hard to tell someone, "Hey, I'm not doing perfect. Things aren't very well, but the things aren't very well." No, and he does it. They both do it, and they take accountability for him not doing great with being a great husband, her not being great, I guess, romantic. And then you get to the scene where they calm down, get to her house, they walk up the stairs, get into her house, and he goes and sits down. No, they say little jokes, nothing, all still restrained though. And then this is where it gets fantastic. So Julie, not Julie though, I mean Celine says, "Hey, I have a song that I wrote," and she starts singing the song, beautiful song. And then the marvelous acting is she's like, "Just for you, little Jessie's," talking about a female a male protagonist, Jessie. She says, "Little Jessie," but you can see her face. She goes like this, and she goes like, it says, she names it Jessie, so she kind of takes it all, and it says, I'm going on a limb, but it doesn't say it though, but it's all face acting. She says, "Jessie," and then he's like, "Oh man," and good time. And then next scene, this is three scenes in a row that are all some of the best I've seen in my life before. So 3 scenes which are so wonderful. I mean, you really can't put in the words just how fantastic these scenes are. I mean, they may be a little boring to some people, but they're really fantastic. I mean, they're really just beautiful. And then the last big thing is she turns on a Nina Simone song just in time, and she's just sitting here, Yeah, she's just sitting here dancing, twisting her hips, dancing like this, twisting her hips like this. And he's just sitting there, he's silent, and he's laughing, he's looking at her beautifully. And you can kind of see, as he watches his entire life just dance and sway by him. And she says, the plane was a big thing. He'd be at the plane, and he's sitting there content. No one's gonna miss the plane. She says, baby, you're gonna miss that plane. And he says, I know. And he smiles. He's content about it. He's content about, he sees his life right there, and he grabs it. And he says, I know it might be hard. I know I have a wife. I know I have a kid. I know I have certain things to uphill. But I love you. I don't want to lose you again. And it's fantastic. Okay, a little cut off, but back to what I was saying. So the movie heavy implies that Celine cheated on Jesse, implies that Jesse cheated on Celine. And they argue, whatever. And the beautiful thing about the argument is, it goes heated, calm. It's not heated, calm. It's heated, calm. Because arguments are, people go on tangents. People start talking about random things. Like arguments are. And she says, I don't love you anymore. Storms out. And he's like, oh man, he's just kind of like, what? And of course she still loves him. Of course but she's angry in the moment. They walk out, and the movie ends, and he goes outside and meets her, because they're on vacation. And he meets her, and they talking. Okay, and it's kind of sweet, kind of saying, okay, doesn't strictly say, but they're gonna try again. It's probably gonna work out. So 3 movies. You have one where it's all fantasy. Second movie was fantasy, but life's getting realer. Third movie, life is real, and the love still persists, but it's much different now. And I think that's real. I think this is probably the most realistic we'll ever get, because it shows humans with flaws, with good decisions. Talk about The Notebook, which is really hated by critics. I think it's a load of crap, because The Notebook is perfect, as it shows love as a complex thing, and it's not simple. I married someone, so I don't love anybody else now. No, I married someone, but I love this person. This person's back in my life, and I love them. And she has a big, tension over it. Rachel McAdams' characters. What's her name? Allie has a big tension over it, but she chooses Noah. She loves him more. I mean, that's what life is. Love. It's such a complex thing. It's such a complex thing, and she can connect with this person. This person might be perfect, but might be everything upstanding, everything you want to be, but she can connect with this person. Now me, it's just personal. These reviews usually end up getting personal with the last 5 minutes, which it should be. Movies are made to be personal and how they connect with you. So connect with me with, there was this girl, we had broke up, and then I seen Before Sunrise, like, oh man, my life is, I have this great person, and I'm kind of throwing it away, and I'm kind of just failing, and I'm kind of just failing at it. I've just been bad, whatever, but so I text her and I say, how's it going? It doesn't go well, but I'm like, okay, I did it, I took the chance and did it. So I think that's what connects us as well. This person is a person I could talk to. It could be 4 years have passed, and we start talking. I could talk to her one day, and I could, almost like before sunset, where 4 years could pass, and I could still 4 years could pass, and I could text. Maybe she gets family text me and say, "Hey," and I say, "Hey, is this you?" And we really talk just like that. She texts me now. Despite everything horrible that's happening, it would go perfectly. It would still, I wouldn't be mad. I would talk just how I normally would. So I think that's a big thing that the Before Trilogy, that love persists. Love over time, love persists no matter what. And I don't know. Maybe me. I think I'm like, as Celine says. I think she loves seeing better representations of love, movies, art, because it shows love better. I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh man, if I could redo this, oh my goodness, what would I do better? So many things. I would do so many things entirely better. But I can't. You can't repeat the past. But for some reason, they get to repeat the past. So, as I say in Gatsby, Nick is like, you can't repeat the past. You can't repeat the past. Celine and Jesse repeat the past, and Before Sunset is Before Sunrise, and they're getting that time back. You know, if I could get the time back, you know, that if I could get that day back of the beginning baseball match, if I could get the time back, I would do anything for it. No, do anything. No, do practically anything for it. And no matter what happens, you know. And that just shows what love is, you know. It's a big thing with I watched with Sunrise, and I was like, oh, well, Julie's very pretty, but you know, there's so many girls probably prettier than her, and it's probably so you know, you see, that's how different people see beauty, you know. What every girl, set it up, yes, set it up. 2018, Glenn Powell. That movie has a beautiful quote where it says, "Love is despite." You know, no matter what. You know, I can't say. I know sometimes I can't say. You know, some things. You know, I had a girl. You know, she had certain things that were strange. You know, and you love the strange things. You know, that's what before sunrise is when Harry met Sally. Is a big thing. That's a big plot about. She does very weird things. They both do very weird things, and they love despite it. So I think that's what makes Before Trilogy so perfect. But what makes it I think the only issue a lot of people have with it is it shows humans it shows humans with flaws. It shows humans not perfect. Tracy is not perfect at all in the first movie. Celine is not perfect at all in the first movie. Not perfect at all in the second movie, but they could be better in the third movie. They're not perfect. They're never perfect. You know, relationships are never perfect. So that's a big thing. I think my next video is going to be on relationships and, you know, how to shift the relationships. You know, I think I'm better off. I think not every person I've dated, I've been friends with after, and I've been better, you know, after. But yeah. So I think watch this review, watch this analysis, and what you take is just go watch Before Trilogy. Just go watch the Before Trilogy. There's someone you love. Go and tell them, hey, I'm sorry. I was stupid. I was bad. I love you. And then after that, you know, you kind of can do no more. But that's what it is. So too, Before Trilogy, the big thing you take out of it is, in love, be vulnerable, be truthful. Actually, even me, you know, I got to think, even me. You know, out of this full book, I'm almost finished with, I've edited, which is entirely written. Like the first page, the third page, literally says, get it. Third page is, this is gracefully dedicated to blank. I'm not gonna say the girl's name. I think she would read it after I publish it if she ever reads it. Am I right? Wrote to a lot, but I don't think she reads any of it. Art has taught me a lot. Has taught me about love, but she's given it to me. You know, an entire book. You know, my entire craft is pinned to one person. It's hope, which Before Sunrise is, but it's hope she'll come back to me and give me a second chance, or not even give me a second chance. I guess it's a bad way of putting it. I guess we think about second chances, but you know, I don't know. Yep. Well, goodbye. I may do a video tomorrow. I may film another one, you know, and post it later, or post it. But I'm not sure if this is my tangents, one takes part of it. I'm not sure if 2 videos in one day is better. Like, I'm not getting I'm getting more views though, I guess. I'm not getting more subscribers. Subscribe. You should share it with somebody. No, share it with one person, and like it. And I'll be like, oh, okay. If I can get 5 likes on one video, I'd be like, yeah, I'll be happy. 20 likes, and I will read the name on this. Even though I'm thinking anyone actually follows me knows who the person is, but yeah, or something. I don't know. I think something like big. I don't know. If I get like 1,000 subscribers, which I never get, I will dye a part of my hair red. I don't know. Well, but good day, and go watch Before Trilogy.